All right, welcome back, everyone, to Chat UFC Early Bird Bets for UFC Vegas 106. And we are going to jump right into it here. I got some big ones on this card, some I really like. Not a ton of them, but a few that the line makes no sense. So we went pretty heavy on it, and I think we're going to have a good card on this one. We're probably going to stick to just a couple of bets, maybe some sprinkles on some of the bigger underdogs, but overall, we're going to take some slight dogs here and try to cash on it. So let's jump right into it. This video is for entertainment and informational purposes only. I am not a financial advisor, and nothing in this video constitutes financial advice. Betting involves risk, and you should only wager what you can afford to lose. Please consult a licensed financial professional before making any decisions. First one of the night, I just want to dive into Sodiq Yusuff, Super Sodiq. This one makes no sense at all to me, and I'll tell you why. I'm giving him a 60% projected probability. This is against Mairon Santos, a newer fighter. That even feels a little bit light, but with the knockout loss to Diego Lopez in his last fight, that could be part of the reason. People are a little gun shy. It seems like he hasn't fought in a long time, but we're going to dive into a little bit of his strength of schedule, and you're going to see it's a little bit wild to be giving him a plus 124. I actually got him at a plus 145 and then put more on it at a plus 124. So my combined is 5 units to win 6.53 at a plus 131. I think that is an incredible line, even at plus 124. Anything positive with Sodiq Yusuff, I think, is a good line. If we take a look at the Glico and WHR, 1641. If we go down to Mairon Santos, 1566. So pretty, about 100 points of difference there, a little bit less than that. And then 1748 versus 1630. So that's over 100 points. So both combined, basically one step up. And I think that is what we're looking at here, is a step up in competition. So let's take a look at their Tapology pages. All right, so here are their Tapology pages. Let's go down to the matchup page here. We have Super Sodiq Yusuff, 31 years old, 5'9", 71-inch reach. And then we have Mairon Santos, 24 years old, 5'9", 72-inch reach. Normally, younger fighter, that's a better thing. But Yusuff's coming into his prime here at 31. And so this is not some old, washed-up fighter going against a youngster who may or may not be in his prime. Mairon Santos, definitely not in his prime. Yusuff in his prime, in my opinion. And then when we take a look further and take a look at Yusuff's record here, he's 6-3 in the UFC. If we just go back, not very long ago, a couple years ago, Sodiq Yusuff back in 2018, Dylan Tuke, not much. Then he goes Dana White's Contender Series, takes out Mike Davis, decision. Don't know this guy, Suman Mokhtarian, Shaman Marias, nothing really here, but then Gabriel Benitez knocks him out. Andre Fili, unanimous decision. Arnold Allen, top of the division, loses a decision, then beats Alex Caceres, very solid. Don Shanis guillotines him, not much there. And then they put him into a main event with Edson Barbosa, which I had actually had Edson Barbosa. He was a minus 165 against Barbosa. So a pretty decent, not a huge favorite, but a decent favorite there. I had Barbosa on the other side at that plus money. I think this line got steamed up, if I'm not mistaken, either. I think it opened around this. Money came in on Sodiq. So I do think in this spot, Barbosa should had value on him because they should have been about the same level. But if you're telling me that Edson Barbosa and Mairon Santos are the same level of fighter, that's just crazy. I mean, if we take a look at Mairon Santos, go to his profile page, he's 15-1. So he has one loss. His record looks great. But guess what? I had money on him against Francis Marshall, and he should have lost that fight. He was a minus 280. Francis Marshall, low-level fighter, and he gets the win. He got a nice knockout against Con O'Flea, who is a low-level fighter, new to the UFC, could be decent, but nice knockout here. What about before that? This is Ultimate Fighter, decision, split decision, another decision. He got a rear naked choke and grappling, but he got ground and pound by Dan Argueta on LFA. And again, if we're just comparing these two, Dan Argueta, Sodiq Yusuff. So what I'm seeing here is a misprice. Sodiq Yusuff should be favored. His resume is better. His metrics are better. He's more in the prime of his career, in my opinion, than Mairon Santos is. He's in the beginning, 24 years old, still a lot to learn. So if we just take all of that into consideration, Sodiq Yusuff last lost to Diego Lopez, probably the second best fighter in this division. So all that taken into account, let's go back here. And Sodiq Yusuff at a plus 131. We have 5 units to win 6.53. That's a max play for us, 5 units. So we are putting our faith in him here. I think it's a great bet. Suggested units is 4.5. So we went a little higher with the profit, but I'm tempted to go even higher than this. I love this play, and I think you should jump on it now because I do not think a plus 124 lasts unless there is insider info. Sodiq, something's wrong with him. He's hurt. He's taking, something like that. We can't factor that into our bets. We just have to go with what we know. And what we know is Sodiq Yusuff should be favored against Mairon Santos. Next one, Julian Erosa. We put 2 units to win to 3.05 at a plus 152.5. Now, we could have got a better line on that. The line shot up to a plus 170. He's fighting Melquizael Costa. And now, Costa, I have made money on in the last couple of fights. But again, step up. They're not recognizing it as a step up. And so I got Costa. Let's actually take a look at what I had Costa at in his last fight. All right, so Costa in his last couple of fights. This is where I got on the wagon after the Andre Fili. I had them ranked about 50-50, and he absolutely dominated. Fili got the guillotine, and he looked really good. Very small play on Fili there at the plus money, but I had him about 50-50. Then against Christian Rodriguez, complete misprice. I got him above this. I got him at about a plus 170. He gets steamed down. I guess it was because it was just a quick turnaround against Fili, but this guy's game, he went out there and got the unanimous decision. Pretty good. However, Julian Erosa has already knocked out and beaten Christian Rodriguez. I think he's better than Christian Rodriguez. And the thing that Costa uses a lot is his reach against some of these other guys and his strength. Erosa is a big fighter at this weight class, and so I don't think we have much of an advantage here for Costa when it comes to reach and the things he normally has. As a matter of fact, he's going to have a 3.5-inch reach disadvantage, which is very unusual for him against Julian Erosa. And if we take a look back here again at Costa's, let's take a look at Costa's previous opponents, if it would be so kind. Here we go. Okay, he lost to Steve Garcia. Nothing wrong with that. Garcia is a beast. And now, he was a favorite in this fight. I think this was just to the start of Steve Garcia taking over. Who knows? Bad line. Beats Austin Lingo. Not that great. Gets submitted by Thiago Moises. And so I could see something like that in this fight here. Minimally, I think it's going to be a war. And so if we take a look back at our betting odds, currently getting a plus 170. I have that 16 percentage points of value. Should be closer to 50-50. Even money, Erosa is a good bet. And so I have 2 units to win 3.05. I will have 1 more unit, at least on Erosa. I like him in this spot. Okay, and now for the other bets we got going on, Gilbert Burns at a plus 425. Strictly a number play. Only put 0.8 units to win 3.4. Slightly above suggested unit size. And that's just because I don't really see this getting higher. It could, but you can't really slap a plus 500, plus 600 at Gilbert Burns without some money coming back, especially against a younger fighter who will probably dominate. I mean, I have Gilbert 30% chance of winning, but as you can see at a plus 425, that's still 11 percentage points of value. You bet it long-term, you win it, but he might not win this fight 7 out of 10 times. He is going to lose. So that being said, Gilbert Burns plus 425, I like. Also, Paul Craig, 10.6 percentage points of value. I don't have a bet on him yet. Probably will have a similar size 0.8 units. That will pay out close to the 3 units, the suggested 3 we have here. So eventually I'll get to that. I do think, though, that we could see more money come in on the other side, Rodolfo Bellato. That is just way too high of a line. with Bellato there. I really think that there's a step up in competition. Bellato got out some guys who are, questionable. Paul Craig. That's the worry, though. Paul Craig is questionable in that his striking is not good, but we all know what can happen if a fighter does something that's not smart. He beat Ankalaev with a submission at the end there. So, to be honest, throw him in the sub. A sub prop is probably your best look. You might not get better than plus 310, but we'll just wait on that. As of right now, we're just going to wait. I don't see much value in taking Craig right now. Okay, next one. This is a little bit of a different thing that I'm doing here. So one of my larger bets on this card is a 3-unit play on Ruziboyev and Bilal Muhammad. So as I already talked about in the previous early bird breakdown on UFC 315, I love Muhammad. His metrics show him 77% chance of winning against Madalena. So we're going to put him in a parlay here because I like Ruziboyev. I give him a slight value here at 2.3 percentage points of value, but that's rare for these big favorites. And so with a 76% chance of winning combined with Bilal's 77% chance, that should hit about 50% of the time. And I'm getting plus money on it. So if we take a look here, let's go to our parlay. We have 3 units to win 3.15 at a plus 105. And I love this because I really want to get action in on Ruziboyev. He has shown to be a very, very good fighter, especially against guys who are not at a higher level. If we take a look at Ruziboyev's last couple of fights, I've had action on him, each time. So I had huge play on him against Eric Moicano here. He was a minus 280, 270, crazy line. Eric Moicano, his first fight in the UFC, brand new. And so I snatched that up. I snatched the under 1.5. I will do the same based on the over-under on this fight. And they haven't come out with lines yet. So we're going to have to wait on that. But I think this fight ends within the first 1.5 rounds for sure. And I think it ends in a Dustin Stoltzfus knockout. He's going to get knocked out, in my opinion. Here's why. So in all of these fights, Ruziboyev knocks out Moicano, decision loss to Buckley. It was a good fight, and it was an even money fight. Yeah, look how closely even that was with Buckley. Knocks out Cedriquez Dumez, who I would put at about the same level as Dustin Stoltzfus. He knocks out Bruno Ferreira, very impressive, 10-0 fighter. And then he just fought on this WEF global armbar. Kimura, lots of submission, so he's dangerous off his back, but he's going to know what Stoltzfus is going to try to do. It's going to be wrestle him, but I think he will be able to compete in the wrestling department because he's good in that area too. So if he can stuff the takedowns and style on Dustin Stoltzfus, this night will end quickly. Stoltzfus has been knocked out quite a bit. Bruno Ferreira last year, spinning elbow. Abus Magomedov, front kick and punches, 2022, gets choked out by Gerald Mearshart, gets finished a lot, I should say, not necessarily just knocked out. Most of his fights end in a finish. Either he gets finished or he finishes the other guy. And if we take a look, it goes loss, win, loss, win, loss. He won his last one. I think he's going to lose this one. And give me Nursultan Ruziboyev all day. And so there you go. He's in that parlay. He'll be in other parlays because if we take another look down here, we got the ladies, and there is some value on the ladies. Denise Gomes, I have her 83% chance of beating Elise Reed. She's a minus 450. There is slight value. Tisha Pennington had value at minus 300. They wouldn't let me parlay it. I couldn't get her in any of the parlays. I loved it. But she's now minus 400. Not much value there, but could creep to get some value. Luana Santos, I hope she closes as a dog. Probably better give her a slight advantage. Like to see her get back in the win column too, and I think she has that motivation to do it. So, couple of value spots here, but no bets on them right now. Right now, all that we have is the following. Sodiq Yusuff, 5 units to win 6.53. We have the parlay of Bilal Muhammad and Ruziboyev, 3 units to win 3.15. And then we have Julian Erosa, 2 units to win 3.05. Gilbert Burns, 0.8 units to win 3.4 units. And we will be adding more on Erosa. I would like to see where that line gets to. I think Costa's getting a lot of fans, and I think this is a spot where we could get a W here at a plus money. So we'll wait and see on that. Paul Craig, probably a wait and see as well. We'll at least have like 0.8 units on him. But that'll be for final face-offs. I'll let you guys know what our final bets are. But no, we'll have something there. I'm not going to bet Connor Matthews. He's looked terrible. Nursultan Raboyev, obviously in the parlay, and we will have him in more. I'm hoping to have a Denisi Gomes, Ruzaboyev, Pennington parlay at some point when I can get some better numbers on it, or I leave him out if I never get the better number. But if Pennington comes down, maybe Gomes comes down a little bit, I see Ruzaboyev going up, but we'll see where that goes. Some people like Stoltzfus, and if so, more for me. I will take that all day. And there you go, guys. So that's everything. Total of 10.8 units. A good amount of units on this one. 10.8 to win 16.13. We've only just started. We haven't finished UFC 315. We got the Friday face-offs coming tomorrow. We'll break that down. We'll see who looks good, place additional bets, and then after 315, we'll be getting into UFC Vegas 106. I may do a recap on Monday morning recap of the lines, the betting odds, and see where we're at and tell you where some of this action's going. We have cross action too with Bilal Muhammad and Ruzaboyev. So these events are very connected. We have quite a bit of units out on both of them. And I'm very excited about both. And I'm very excited to see everyone at the window.